Okay, everyone, good afternoon. We are here, actually, good morning. We are here in the 40 out in Arcata. It's called the 40, referred to that by some unhoused individuals who have lived on the property for some of them for more than a decade. And we're here today as law enforcement attends to the final stages of clearing the private property here per the property owner's request. And we've got Lieutenant Scown here from the Arcata Police Department. We're going to learn more about what is going on here at the 40 today. And you can see, real briefly, I'll zoom back here. You can see John Shelter is back there assisting with some debris removal. So we're going to learn about what has happened already this morning here from Lieutenant Scown. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so give us an update.
So per the property owner's request, we came out here this morning and contacted some people that were still trespassing on the property, asked them to leave, and they did leave, and there's currently nobody out there trespassing on the property. John Shelter and his crew with New Direction have come out, are employed by the property owner, and are removing the last of the debris and whatnot from the property, and that is really it. And we're just here to keep the peace and that make sure that John's able to do his work, and that's all.
Okay, so we did hear that there may have been arrests that occurred. Can you clarify?
We did not make any arrests.
Okay, and so people left voluntarily, and that would have been when law enforcement showed up?
Yes, we did. We contacted about 9 people and asked them to leave, and they did, and they gathered their belongings and left. We also had our representatives from Arcata House Partnership out here with us, and they did work with at least 2 of the people left with them. So I'm not sure what the status of that is, but
okay.
We did have additional last chance services out here for them. We previously had the county was out here, Department of Health and Human Services, along with Open Door Clinic and some other service providers, and Arcata House, and did a tabling event several weeks ago. So there has been lots of attempts to get people connected with services prior to that. And that really is at the generosity and time-wise of the property owner, and being very understanding and realizing that this took a long time to occur, and we needed some time to give people time and space to find some alternative options.
And when you say it took a long time to occur, you mean the buildup of material and
yes.
people, their belongings, and the trash that gets accumulated over time, right?
Yep. Yes.
Right. And so John Shelter's been working on clearing the property of trash and debris for several months now, right?
For about 5 months.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And so part of the purpose of that is because the property owner has basically been under a little increased pressure, kind of originating from complaints made against the property. Is that right?
Just in the general area from other community members, to some degree. Yeah.
Okay. And then if you can help us understand where the property begins and ends here. Like, I know that the railroad is like right out there.
Yeah, so there's some railroad property out here that is part of the Great Redwood Trail Authority. They have ownership, or at least partial ownership, of that property. The rest, there's another section of property here that is 823 Q Street, and it includes this gravel lot that you see here, along with over where John is working, and these areas out here.
Okay.
And then there is another property that has been that we've had some issue with, that was previously the Soilscape building.
Right.
And that is a different property, not owned by this property owner.
Is that one is that one being affected today?
Not today. No,
okay.
no. We're just at the request of the property owner removing or making sure that people are not on this property. And that's it. And just this property alone, we have not gone into the railroad tracks. That is a different property owner. We are not dealing with that at all today. We are just cleaning up this property
Okay.
at 823 Q Street and
Yeah.
9010 Street, which is what we're standing on right now.
Where we are physically now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's see.
What do you say to the people that find services inadequate?
Okay, fair question. What about people who would say the services are inadequate? And so we don't see Open Door here today, although we were here. Ryan Hutson here at Humboldt Freelance reporting. We did come when the services fair was taking place previously. Interviewed John Shelter. We did interview some of the people living out there as well. So people can go to Humboldt Freelance reporting on YouTube for that material.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Fair enough.
But what do you say to people who would suggest that more needs to be done for these individuals in terms of low barrier assistance, whether it be shelter, medical, hygiene, everything, right?
I think that's a reasonable question, and there is a lot of concern around that. The cost of all of those things, it costs a lot, and society has to bear that cost if that's something they want done. It's not out of the question, but it is difficult, and we do live in Humboldt County where there are less resources. We live in a small rural place, and those things are hard. I will say that most of the people that we are seeing and dealing with out here have been provided opportunity and repeated opportunity to get services, and they are either incapable or unwilling to take those services. Not everyone is capable of taking services due to whatever mental health condition they may have, or substance abuse issues, or whatever that may be. And those are difficult things. That is absolutely difficult things to deal with. And that's why we took 5 months to do this. That's why we gave all this time. We had service fairs. We've tried to do the best that we can as a community to pull together here and do this in the most reasonable way possible. Because nobody wants to see people suffering, and so we're trying to do this in the best way that we can. But there are going to be situations where we have to reach an end, and the property owner has asked that today be the day that we make sure that no one is trespassing on his property.
I see. Okay. And then because I've been out here before and interviewed people, including John Shelter extensively, I know that there is an RV, and we can actually kind of see it in the background, way back there. If I, it's back there. But is that going to be extracted today?
Yeah. So that will probably, and this is, you'll have to talk more with John about this.
Sure.
This is his end of thing, but my understanding is that he's going to pull it out here to the road, near the roadway here, and then that may end up getting towed through a private property tow process. Again, our only function here today as a police force is to just make sure that where people are adhering to the law, that they're not trespassing, and that there's not other disturbances that are created that put John or other people in danger. So like we're not doing any cleanup. We're not doing any kind of anything with anything out here. Everything that has to do with what's going on the property is up to John and the property owner.
Okay. And then can you clarify, were there any eviction notices? I know that we've talked about trespass notices. Were there any eviction notices?
No, so evictions would come into play where people are not trespassing.
Right.
And so that wouldn't be applicable in this situation. There were multiple trespass warnings and notices given, even though those would not be required by law, given that it is private property.
Okay.
So there is no expectation that be provided, but it was. There was repeated instances of posted notice and verbal warnings at numerous times. I know John went out of his way over and over again to contact everyone in every camp and have multiple conversations with them about getting resources, about other options that were available, and about the need to have people vacate the property.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I can say almost everyone we talked to this morning was not surprised. Did not have. There were very few objections to us telling them that they needed to leave. The
lady crying?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people are attached to the property.
Absolutely.
They've lived there. You know, when we say camping, that kind of does it a disservice
Sure.
because people have their whole lives
Yes.
out there in one corner or
Yeah.
another, right?
Absolutely.
So there's
Yeah, it's not just camping in the sense that they're out here recreationally. They're
Right.
living out here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's not lost on us, and that is why we are went through the processes that we did.
Yeah.
We're trying to do the right thing here by these people that are out here, and a lot of the people that were out here, we were able to get them in other situations.
Can you talk a little more about that?
Um,
Oh, John. Here he comes. Okay. So there we go. All right. Yeah. So did anybody take up any offers for housing, or how did that go?
I don't know if anyone took offers for housing, but I do know that people signed up for services and did get connected with medical services and other services, especially during the tabling event.
Right, right. And I remember, you know, yeah, I'll save that for the article.
Fair enough.
A little teaser there. Okay, so most of the people who are, for instance, located at the Soilscape property, they're being left alone for now.
For now, that it is another private property,
Uh-huh.
and eventually that private property owner is going to want the property back.
Yeah.
But for the time being, you know, we want to make sure that we're doing all the things that we can to give people opportunity to get connected with services and to move to a place that is more sustainable for them and for the community. And so we're still working through that.
Okay. Okay, well, any further thoughts? Anything the community should know?
I think it's just important to know that we have put a lot of effort into making us, mostly the property owner, honestly, has put a lot of effort into making sure that this wasn't drastic, that this wasn't sudden, and that we gave space for people to find alternate things to do and places to be, and that, you know, sometimes we do have to do hard things, but we're doing those with the utmost passion that we possibly can.
Okay, and so for these people, it's mostly out of sight, out of mind, and so they may end up just selecting a different location, right? If they didn't get hooked up with housing.
It very well could be. That is a likely outcome, yes.
Likely outcome. Okay. Okay, thank you, Lieutenant Scallon. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Thanks.
anytime.
Okay, we're probably going to wander around and...
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Feel free. Just please do stay clear of the work area and
Yep.
off that property.
Sure.
But the rest of the public area, as long as you're not blocking the sidewalk or obstructing traffic or something, wander
Okay.
about.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah.
See you later.
See ya. Thank you.
What is it?
That lady's looking for a cat. Cat something. I'll like talk to the side on camera.
Okay, let's do it. I'm just going to be here so I can get the bulldozer in the background.
I can just talk into the mic from
Yeah,
here.
totally. Okay, so while we're standing here speaking with the lieutenant, there is a community activist and advocate for homeless here behind me who would prefer to remain off camera for obvious reasons, but...
Yeah, John Shelter's tried to dox me before, so staying off
Okay.
camera.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, tell us what you think. When did you arrive and what did you see here?
I've been here for about like 30 minutes now, I think. I heard about this going down, and so I pulled up because I thought it would be a good idea. I'm standing right on the edge of the property line because I know the cops are here to guard the private property. They're actually looking at me right now. They're giving me dirty looks. But what's it called? Since they're so hardline about the property line, I have a camera on me and I'm filming stuff, and I'm staying right on the edge of the property line so I don't break the rules or get them mad at me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if I did trespass, they would probably tackle me or some shit. Yeah, they're currently just like clearing out stuff. One of my friends has a missing cat. They're moving around animals. They moved. I saw them pull a cage out of this pile, and it had some like small furry creatures in it. And then they kind of went, what's it called? Like that way to the left of where the camera's pointing right now.
Yeah.
And the two officers that were carrying the cage are right over to our left. And they're giving me dirty looks again. Yeah, I'm just out here cop watching. Cop watching is like a basic responsibility that we can show to like basically anyone experiencing state repression. You know, making sure that like the cops know that they're being watched and that they like if they want to do violence, like they're not going to get away with it unrecorded or unwitnessed. And you know, just like showing up, it's like super important if you can.
Okay, so basically you're here to bear witness.
Yeah.
And observe what Arcata Police is doing or not doing, right?
Yeah, and so in the instance of like, you know, they were talking about people getting told to leave, earlier they listened and they like quote unquote obeyed, but in the instance in which someone didn't listen and they started experiencing violence from the police, the ideal is I'm here filming to make the cops hesitate, to make them wait a second and consider what they want to do and why they want to do it, because the consequences on their career could be like kind of devastating, frankly, if they like get caught on camera. They could also get away and be fine and nothing happened, but potential consequences are something that deters cops quite a lot.
So the idea being that if you have a camera on them, as police officers, they're more likely to act in an ethical or more responsible way than if they were off camera. Is that the idea? Yeah,
like cops act different on the plaza as opposed to out in like dark alleyways. You know, what they feel comfortable doing depends a lot on like if they feel they're being watched. And so they feel pretty comfortable right now because they're just standing around as bodyguards, and they want to have like an overwhelming amount of people, so if anyone does push against their like position, they just like have no chance. Like there's 8 cops, maybe 9, and they got undercover cars too.
Yeah, there's at least one, I think 2 unmarked cars that I can see from here for sure, and 2 identifiable APD cruisers. So yeah, there's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 is correct. There are 8 officers within 15 feet of us here.
Yeah.
Just observing, sitting back. So, you know, not a lot of action right now. Were there people here when you got here?
No, 2 people came up. One person came up and their attitude was kind of like neutral and like they kind of just accepted it. There was another person who was just like losing their shit over this, and I would too if my home was getting hacked up in a...
Do you have any concept of like whether the people who left voluntarily were able to take with them any of their personal possessions?
Maybe some. It seems like some people have been out and they're just coming back, so it seems like at least some people didn't get a chance to get their personal possessions.
Okay.
Yeah, another thing with the services, I feel like the services is kind of just like a language used to kind of like sanitize what they're doing here. They're like, well, we offered services, we're doing what we're supposed to do, and it's like, yeah, you did offer services, but like, you know, the language of like, oh, they're not capable or not willing or whatever. It's like, some of these people don't have fucking legs, you know? Like, they can't get up and get services easy. They have to have someone help them. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, there are extreme medical situations out there. For instance, one woman who was in a wheelchair out here, I've interviewed her previously. She had 1 foot when I interviewed her.
Yeah. Recently,
I'm told that she was taken to the ER and may have had to have her other foot amputated.
Yeah.
It's just a poor circulation issue and also just a general lack of medical attention. for that particular woman. So it's not an exaggeration to say that there are people without legs, and there's another gentleman with a prosthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one woman who's located on a neighboring property, actually, we've interviewed her. She's mostly immobile, and so is pretty much confined to her tent site.
Yeah.
Which is not on the property being cleared today, but is directly bordering it. So that was something I was looking out for today to see what was happening with that property.
And they're going to try to do her next, you know? Like...
the neighboring property and also maybe the soilscape property.
Yeah, and they're just going to be like, well, she was unwilling to take services, and then she's going to be back on the street.
And we're talking about an elderly woman.
Yeah, and she needs some she needs love, you know, like that. Like we should be taking care of our elders, and this is what caring for our elders looks like.
A lot of people feel that way. Yeah. So, what do you think about the concept of out of sight, out of mind as we're standing here, you know, in this situation?
I mean, personally, it kind of makes me sick. It's just like, I don't know. I definitely like spent a good period of my life kind of in that attitude of like, you know, I'm not gonna look, so I'm not gonna see it. But ultimately, like, that doesn't really like bring you anywhere. It ultimately just like hurts people again and again, and like, you know, the 40 became a spectacle of some kind to Arcata and Humboldt, like through the news. And now, what's it called? Like the out of sight, out of mind thing is just like they're gonna be swept somewhere else, you know? Like they aren't gonna, like, it's just gonna cause them more pain, and like the least we can do is see them.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Are expletives allowed on live?
Sure.
Fuck John Shelter. Fuck APD. Long live the 40. And fuck all the APD giving me nasty ass looks from here.
So yes.
Peace and love.
So a range of emotions from activists and advocates today. As you can see, an emotionally charged situation. And while we were interviewing Lieutenant Scown, a woman behind us approached, and she was in tears, and we're told now that she was looking for her cat. So during this live stream, if you see a cat, holler in the comment section.
I could clarify that.
Oh yeah, please do. Clarify the cat thing.
Some officers, some of John's crew brought out an animal carrier with a bunch of kittens in it.
Okay.
And two officers here walked back to the soilscape property where the owner of the cats was known to be.
Okay.
And so those kittens were returned to her. There is one outstanding kitten, or cat. One of our officers here knows what it looks like, has talked to the shelter's crew about that.
Okay.
So if anyone does see it, or if they see it, they're going to get a hold of us. We have a phone number to get a hold of the owner.
Okay.
So we'll
you're
work to
trying
get that
to reconnect the kitten or the kitty and the owner. Okay, what's the kitty description of the kitty?
I don't know. I wasn't there. But
Okay.
John's crew knows what it is, and it's likely in that general area.
Yeah.
So if they come across it, or any cat, I'd imagine we'll try and grab it up and see if we can get it back there.
Okay.
So.
Okay, while they're moving the heavy equipment around, must be.
Yes, I'm sure as a cat, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Anything else that we need to clarify?
No.
Okay.
No, unless you had other stuff.
That's it. I guess that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
just observing.
Yeah. Feel free.
Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, the cops are here to make it look good, make it sanitize it for everyone. You know, we're doing the right thing. We're doing the most compassionate thing we can do, and it's like we're packing people's homes up in dump trucks and.
Well, let me ask you a tough question. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the amount of actual trash that's accumulated? We got toxic stuff back there. There's a lot going wrong.
Yeah.
And so from an environmental standpoint, you know, people may be confused about how activists are sort of lobbying for people to remain outside.
Yeah.
Can you clarify what's the stance on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can only really speak for me and me only.
Yeah.
But I've come out here and cleaned trash before. There was a lot of trash out here. There was a lot, and like
A lot.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
a degree in which, you know, a bunch of random people don't have access to heavy machinery. And you know, like I'm definitely in the position of like, you know, we need to clean this up, and there's a lot of people in this encampment that were in the position of we need to clean this shit up, and there were a couple like problematic people, I think we could call them.
Yeah.
And you know, and even if they were part of the problem and they made this place a wreck, like they still need a place to stay. But you know, we like I've cleaned up here before. It wasn't pleasant, it wasn't fun, but like,
Yeah.
you know, it's important to do. And we were trying to clean up in the context of like there's a big difference in between like crushing someone's camp like over there versus like the piles of like garbage that were here.
Right.
And I was very down for the trash to be cleaned up. My concern is John Shelter himself. He's like very conniving and very like deceptive, and like, you know, tries to puts on this outward facade of compassion and we're gonna make your life right, but ultimately can end up like people's homes are being destroyed. Like I'm much less worried about this trash than I was with like, you know, the literal piles and piles of garbage that were here. And they could have stopped 2 months ago and it would have been like no big deal. But this is where we get like the property owner and like the contractor. But yeah, like the trash was unacceptable. But like just because the trash is unacceptable doesn't mean we need to sick John Shelter and like law enforcement on this area. And like I think also like, I don't know, a lot of this is the place. This got called like where all free piles go to die. Like some lady just like collect trash and
Free piles.
yeah, and like I don't exactly agree with that, but like, you know, she still deserves love too, and like
Yeah. I have, in the course of interviewing people who had been living out here the last couple months, have been trying to do that. And yeah, there are mixed feelings among people who live out there even about other people bringing trash, too much trash.
yeah.
Even in the midst of their campsites, which are, you know, sort of engulfed in various, you know, pieces of broken stuff and actual trash. Some bagged up, a lot of it bagged up actually, and a lot of it just like old broken stuff.
Yeah, and like, you know, all that stuff that's bagged up, like ultimately a lot of these people wanted to send it to the dump. It's just that the dump costs money, and people who are living out on the streets and in the woods aren't gonna have dump money, aren't gonna have like the equipment and the time and the like strength and energy to like, you know, haul a bag of trash from here to like a car or something, and then like, you know, like that takes like a
There's no
team.
trash service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, John Shelter sells himself as a trash service, but it's really more about like cleansing this place of undesirables. Like that's what it's really about. And like people want to conflate, or a lot of people want to conflate John Shelter taking out trash as the like he is the only solution for the trash problem. And it's like if I knew how to operate an excavator and a dump truck and I had the money for it, like you know, there are much more compassionate ways to like help people clean out their space than like just like crushing the whole encampment.
So what do you think, you know, John Shelter, one of the things he would talk to me about repeatedly was that he wanted to have a quote-unquote exit plan, which involved a low barrier sort of designated camping zone where people would have, you know, allotted spaces for camping, and it would be monitored in some way. There would be, trash service, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Porta potty receptacles, whatever it may be. He wanted to kind of have that situated on a property near here where people would just simply move from here to there. What do you think about that idea? Which was played with by the city of Arcata, but has obviously not come to fruition.
Yeah. I think like a big thing about, well, if someone from this encampment wanted to take that opportunity, I wouldn't shame them or question them. I might talk to them about it and hey, why are you doing this? But I think like the main thing is like a lot of people didn't know about the 40 for a while, and having the city of Arcata and John Shelter know where you're camping next is like I wouldn't want John Shelter to know where I'm camping next if I was living here, and like.
So, a lot of people would prefer another off the beaten path, sort of out of the realm of enforcement area.
Yeah. People don't want to be like monitored by cops all their life, and like I don't know, like porta potties are great, they're helpful, but like it didn't happen here, and honestly, I'm like hesitant to believe that the city of Arcata would even implement that. Like it's pulling teeth to get a porta potty on the plaza.
Right.
Where like, I don't know. So I don't exactly want to like totally condemn the idea, but like I would be hesitant to engage with that idea if I lived here, and I support anyone who would be hesitant to engage in that idea, just because of the like potential dangers it poses. Like it's a lot better to remain hidden from APD because they do stuff like this. Like you and me are both right on the property line because I was like they would fucking tackle us if we went over there, like they would, and like.
I hope they wouldn't tackle a member of the media or anybody for that matter.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe they'll arrest you gently.
I get your point.
And then tackle me. But I mean, they've tackled people on this property before, and when it was all full of trash, like dragging them through the trash. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. So is it hard to watch this happen?
Yeah, I'm trying not to cry, to be honest.
Really?
Like, I mean. Yeah. I don't want to pretend that I knew the specific people that were living in these specific locations, but like this is like the kind of the crescendo of like the 40 being cleared, and like it happened, and like I don't want to say that people let it happen, but like a lot of people tried to do something about it, and a lot of Arcata let it happen. A lot of Humboldt not only let it happen, wanted it to happen. One of my someone on, you should see the comments on like that lady that got murdered out on Valley West. She might want to be one of my friends. I don't know. But
the recent incident that occurred.
Yeah, and you should see the comments on some of those posts. They're like, it's drug and alcohol, it's all these, and it's like a man killed a woman. Like that's chauvinism. That's femicide. It's not drugs and alcohol. And people will blame any issue out here on drugs and alcohol, and not on the like complex issues that like society that like that kind of stack up and create the situation. Like people are getting swept, and it's like a crawling concentration camp. Like you don't have like clean water, you don't have access to like the most abundant food, you don't have access to sanitation services, and like the home that you spent like potentially like days building, potentially weeks building, they crush it in an instant, and then like and then gaslight you when you start crying about it and start getting upset. Like, this shit's sickening. And like, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm really doing what I should be doing to stop it, but like, all I can do is sit here on the property line, and film or observe, because like they're gonna kick my ass otherwise, and I'm not trying to get my ass kicked today. especially not
It's
by
not
myself.
a good day to get arrested.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So they, do you think they're here mainly to prevent protesters?
Yeah, they're here to act mainly as bodyguards. They're here to protect John Shelter and his crew, which I get. It makes sense. It's not nonsensical. People have pulled up before in protests, but a lot of people haven't really It's not like they weren't like fighting or anything. They were just like watching at a close distance. But yeah, they're here to act as bodyguards basically, and because if they weren't here, we would be able to go over there, and even if Shelter had an issue with us being there, filming him, he wouldn't really be able to do anything. But now he has a squad of bodyguards protecting him.
Right. I see what you mean. Okay, I'm going to try to walk through that parking lot and see if I can get a different angle here before I shut it down.
Yeah, I might walk with you if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll be...
Feel free to walk with me. Here we go. Okay, everybody, so you can see the 40 extends all the way out there. And if you look far out, I'll try to zoom in there. You can see the bones of a burned out, what I think is an old Chevy truck out there, which was not there previously. So, here we go. And earlier we did see John Shelter himself drive out with the dump truck full of stuff.
Oh, and they got a paddy wagon here too.
Aha, and we do see, they do have the police van where, if they needed to arrest people, there it is. So far as Lieutenant Scown had clarified that there were no arrests. But you can see here a pretty clear view of that RV that we were talking about earlier. This RV, the owner of it was at one point told by John Shelter, and they had a conversation about this, that he was trying to get quote-unquote amnesty for that RV to be able to be removed. So clearly that has not manifested, at least not to our knowledge, and we'll try to confirm that with John Shelter if we can get a hold of him before we leave the site today. So these trees right here, this line of trees right in the front is kind of along a ditch that fills with water. When the rains come, that will all be very, very muddy. Those are referred to as wetland willows there, which many have been removed, taken down. This used to be, used to have a lot more green cover here. So here at the corner, and again, although we do see the paddy wagon there, as they say, there have been no arrests confirmed by Lieutenant Scown here on scene. Gonna shut it down now. This is Ryan Hutson reporting for Redheaded Blackbelt. And If you're looking for additional interviews that I've conducted out here at the 40, you can go to Humboldt Freelance Reporting at YouTube for those video interviews, including several with John Shelter.